Fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes, fuck those socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass, very faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America, so my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes, fuck those socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass, very faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America, so my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
So what's up, beautiful people? I would like to welcome you officially to the first recording of Assassin Radio. And technically, we really are broadcasting. Because I have something that is broadcasting. I'm not going to really say what, but it is actually broadcasting a signal. So anyway, welcome to Assassin Radio. So I wanted to specifically create something different, talking about assassins, talking about targeted individuals, and what we go through. Basically what I've been doing, but giving it more of a format. So the format today is going to be about Laurel Aston and what I went through to get this woman out of America, and basically what we went through to get here to Mexico. So I'm going to start out by, first of all, explaining to you that this whole thing came about because of the U.S. government and the cartel. And what I mean by the cartel is I mean the female cartel that gets paid by the U.S. government to steal women and children and to smuggle women and children internationally to be taken into their underground bases for prostitution, child sex, pedophilia, and most of all, horrifically, witchcraft. And most of them end up getting sacrificed and chopped up for their organs and resold on the black market. That's what this is about. So never forget how this all started. It started about this. And it started because I fell in love with a Romanian woman. And me being a child assassin, they waited, they watched, they hunted, and they waited for the right time for me to fall in love, have sex for the first time in almost 5-6 years, and then kill my cousin Michael Jackson, and then kill this woman the same day. So I lost my mind. 2 weeks after I found out what happened to her from my Russian friend who shall be called R, his father was, and still is pretty much, the head of Russian, equivalent to Russian Secret Service. Has many names. But he's also an assassin. I'll never forget the day I shook his hand and the way he looked at me. So I want you to understand, his son was the one that basically told me what happened to my girlfriend because her body was dumped in Russia. This was the same woman that I spent New Year's with in Snagov in a private, closed-off Russian community. So I want you to understand exactly what happened and how this all started, because I want this to be more of a storytelling based kind of radio show, so people can really start to understand and learn what we go through as assassins and as child assassins and targeted individuals, and exactly what they do to us. And how everything, and you know, assassins, everything's about timing. Everything is about precise and specific timing down to the second. So the people that did this to Michael Jackson and my girlfriend, they coordinated their murders precisely down to the second. When Michael was being held down and injected with the poison, you had Tom Boxer in Russia hacking up my girlfriend for the Freemasons, which was the Paracelsus group, which took him in after his blood sacrifice. He became a Freemason. Tom Boxer, after stealing the track Beautiful Day from me and another producer, Vanotech, and registering that song as his own, which it never was. And then he gets a brand new VW 3 weeks later. So I want you to understand exactly how this started, because it started like this. And I lost the woman that I've been waiting my whole entire life for. The woman that I wanted to have children with. The woman that even when I see kids, I think about her. They took that away from me. So as God is my witness, I'm going to take every fucking thing, even the last breath of air they ever had, or die trying. So after I spent all the money that I had trying to find out what happened to her, trying to find out, who did what, who was involved with who, and got an international investigation started by DIICOT, spelled DIICOT, which DIICOT brought down members of Fashion TV and TVR1 due to human trafficking, but that still didn't get Nikagaru. So I started making videos in front of Nikagaru's clubs, in front of Fashion TV Romania, which is right across the street from the Romanian police, I think it's police council building, which also has Freemasonry in front of it. So I want you to understand, Nikagaru also, where his club was, Club Space, that building that's across from the Romanian police building, the building where Club Space is located, used to be a place where government officials internationally would meet and trade women and take women wherever they wanted to and take kids wherever they wanted to. That's what that building was used for. And then they passed it on to Nikageru to basically turn it into a club and deal drugs out of it and continue to trade women and children and do whatever he wanted. That's club space. That was the first club space. Then Nikageru moved club space into Ibiza, which is space music today, which is one of the biggest human trafficking, money laundering organizations still today. Even with Nikageru dead and his CIA replacement walking free as him, how they want it, I want you to know that I was making videos about all of his clubs in Romania, in front of all his clubs in Romania, also exposing Liviu Moranu, his second in command, also exposing the big so-called techno rave event coordinator and organizer called The Mission, which is also Nikageru's. They had Carl Cox under a 5-year contract. These are the biggest of biggest people in the entertainment industry in Eastern Europe, and I took them on with the camera. So after, the Rothschilds came down and sprinkled some money at my job at the Radisson Blu, which is the nicest hotel in Bucharest, where I got fired from by my Freemasonic boss for no reason at all. I mean, I was ripping shit up with the jazz. They never heard jazz like the way I play it. They never heard chill out music the way I play it. I'm the dopest DJ, I must say. So after getting fired from that job, after having the Rothschilds come down and give my Freemason boss the Freemason handshake in front of the DJ booth, and then my boss completely making an ass of himself and making it look like I did something, which I didn't, and everybody looking at him like, are you on crack? But still, again, I got fired. And I would like to humbly thank R and his family for helping me get that job. And they know what happened. So anyway, moving on to the story. So after that, I spent basically losing my mind after I found out what happened to my girlfriend. 2 weeks after I found out what happened to her, my sister died. I tried to kill myself. That's what they wanted. I found out that a nurse, or more than likely an assassin, tripled her medication and she just bloated up and died. That came precisely 2 weeks after my Russian friend R told me what happened to Mihaela. So I tried to kill myself with sleeping pills, and I took so many. But fortunately, it didn't happen because I guess I have people around me that care. So I can say when I did that, I lost all my fear. And what do I mean by losing all my fear? Finally, in this conscious state of Mr. Zacchaeus, I can finally say I really, really was not, or nor will I ever be afraid of death. That is nothing I fear. I don't fear it. So once you get to that place in your life where you don't fear death, you start looking at life very, very, very differently. And for you people that know exactly what I'm talking about, that have no fear of death, you know what I'm talking about. And for you people that have fear of death and that think, oh, I'm not afraid of death, but really you are. You have no idea what I'm talking about. So after this, I spent a few months trying to get myself together. It didn't work. Couldn't find a job. I lost my apartment, ended up staying a few months in the snow. No one would help me. Not even R. R was under specific orders not to help me. I couldn't understand why. I got really pissed off at him. But now I thank him because Russia and the Legionnaires really wanted to see if I had what it takes. If I could live in the snow, if I could survive in a Romanian winter without dying. If I could survive, if I knew how to survive. If I was that same person that survived all those hits in America, in Mendocino, when they tried to kill me. If I was that same person they've been hearing about. So I survived. I want you to know that I walked around all night. And until my camera ran out of juice, I was making recordings in front of Nika Geru's establishments with a shitty camcorder, and then going to Orange, which is located right behind him on the street, right behind him in downtown Bucharest, right behind Fashion TV, and all his mafia buddies at the time were living above Fashion TV. I go right behind them, basically up their ass, and upload these videos talking shit about all of them. And then do it every night. So then a dirty cop picked me up, ran my ID, I didn't have a visa, and they threw me into a refugee jail. I told the police, so to speak, the customs officers, who I was, what I was doing. One of them recognized me from TV. That's right, people. I was doing a lot of TV shows in Romania. TV guest spots. Me and my friends started the dance battle organization that eventually made it to TV and live internet broadcasting, which I was the DJ, the hip-hop DJ for all of those. Yeah, that was me. DJ guest spots, interviews, all time. Yeah, that was me. And so all of a sudden the Rothschilds, all they have to do is come down and sprinkle some money to some Romanians who basically are afraid of the cartel, and boom, I just disappear. I'm on the streets. It doesn't matter how talented I am. Tom Boxer killed his girlfriend. It's time to put the hand on him. Nobody touch him. Nobody work with him. So what if he's Michael Jackson's cousin? Michael Jackson's dead. We killed him. What, you want to go against us? And then everybody just shut me down and hands off. This is what happened after they killed Michael, after they killed my girlfriend. So then I let the customs officers know, and they broke international law to let me go to France. Because I called in some connections, because a friend of mine, which I will call him M, grew up with the Romanian kickboxer champion that was an ex-legionnaire that quit the Legionnaires for 3 years to kick all the Romanians' asses and then went back to the Legionnaires. So I had some inside connections with that. My friend M was Michael Jackson's stage technician, both shows in Bucharest. He is one of Romania's oldest rockers and also Romanian ex-military. Also a beloved and really good friend of mine. So he grew up with the Legionnaire, the Romanian kickboxing champion Legionnaire. So then I'm off to France because Romania just, the customs officers gave me my props. They treated me good. They broke international law and let me go to France because the international law stipulates if you get caught in a country without a visa, they're supposed to export you back to your country of origin, which they didn't. So, this is Assassin Radio. I get to Romania. Now, let me remind you how it was leaving Romania for basically Michael Jackson's cousin, who had his girlfriend killed, who all the Romanians knew from TV. So I get to the airport from the refugee jail in Romania with 2 Romanian customs officers, and all the really hot Romanian women are looking at me. They're looking at me because they recognize me. They're not looking at me because I'm with 2 customs officers, which that's really strange too. They're saying my name, Zacchaeus. Because you really don't forget a black American on TV doing interviews and actually built up his DJ name at all their clubs for the last 7 years. You're going to recognize me. They're going to talk. And then, especially after I went in front of all of Nika Geru's clubs, and everybody knows about Nika Geru in Romania. See, that's the difference between American mafia and Romanian mafia. See, Romanians know. They know who Nika Geru is. All of them. The cops know. They know about the gypsies. They raise their daughters. Don't go there. Don't go to that club. That club's run by him. They put shit in girls' drinks. They take girls. They know. So when I was out in front of their clubs doing videos, they knew who I was. So get a clear picture. I'm infamous in Romania. And I will be forever infamous in that country, especially Bucharest. So here I am at the airport with 2 customs officers, and they realize they're basically with a fucking star. And so then they really start to believe all the shit that I told them is really real. So then they take me to the plane themselves. They give my passport to the pilot. And they tell the pilot to tell the French military to take care of me. Make sure I'm safe. The pilot was shocked. He said, okay. The stewardess comes and she shows me to my seat. I sit down. No one sits next to me. I fly to Romania. I fly from Romania to France, Paris. Everyone gets off the plane. I'm told to stay seated. French military comes to the plane and escorts me off the plane, gets my passport from the pilot. They take me to the back of the Paris airport and sit me down. This is where they take people to interrogate and investigate people. I'm surrounded by 3 French foreign legionnaires that can kick ass, because I could tell by the way they stand. And then 3 really hot French women, also French military. And so they're looking at me like wondering, who am I? What is this about? And I'm not going to walk up and say, hey, I'm Michael Jackson's cousin. Yeah, I don't do that. So I handed him the papers from the Romanians stating what happened, and basically I can go to Romania anytime. Basically, they gave me 24 hours to leave the country, and I can come back within 24 hours anytime that I want. That's all Romania did to me. So then they called the number, they called Romanian's customs. And the French guy was talking to the Romanian customs guy and was saying, what is this all about? Because the pilot called the military, and the military escorted me to the back of the airport. And then basically the French officer said, okay, tell me what happened. So I told him what happened. Told him about my girlfriend, told him about the snow, told him about everything. He was shocked, couldn't believe it. He said, welcome to France. And then the female officers, they just kind of got flush on their face, and they were just like, whoa, they couldn't believe it. But let me remind you, this was still shortly after Michael Jackson's death. So I got escorted to the passport place, but they took me around the passport place where you get your passport stamped and go through the line. They took me around that, and they just opened the gate and they said, welcome to Paris. So I want you to understand that I had help from the Romanian church. Thank you, Father Downey. He's also from California. So he gave me the contact of a priest that's at a Romanian church, one of the biggest Romanian churches in Paris, which I ended up leaving my bags there and staying as squats for a while. Squats are basically abandoned houses where homeless people go in and take over these buildings or houses and start living in these places because the rent in Paris is so expensive. So I'm not going to really get into me sleeping in line 8 and all of the off-world travel and me sneaking into the Rothschild's Stargate underground base that is located in the Bastille, the Keep, and all of the stuff that I did. That's a whole nother video. So I just wanted you to get, your head wrapped around what happened before I went back to the States. See, the Rothschilds basically broke my arm, and they put a transmitter in the bar that, holds your bone together. There's a transmitter in this bar. The transmitter is designed to basically create algorithms of my brain thoughts to stabilize me and to shut me down. I still have it in my arm. But obviously it didn't work like the Rothschilds planned on it to work. I mean, they broke my arm just to get this fucking thing in my arm. So yeah, I basically have pretty much a fucking high-tech computer in my arm that I took control of. So anyway, I basically ended up on the streets, and I was asked basically if I wanted to go back home and to finish this. Took me a while, and I just said yeah. So basically, a whole cover story was made, and they put me in the hospital. I made it look like I had no place to go, and the French were going to put me away for good. And I had to go back to the United States. So let me tell you what I went back into. I went back into a place where they assassinated my real mother a long time ago and replaced her. Same with my brother. I went on record many times saying this. So I went back in this acting like I didn't know that anymore, that I was crazy, that, you know, oh, I was out of it for thinking. I was out of it for even saying it. But basically, you know, during this time, they were putting me back under mind control with this thing that's in my arm. So, after I went back, played the game for about 2 years, year and a half, I was ready to go back to France, finish the lawsuit, get the Rothschilds kicked out because of the Aboriginal stones that I discovered in the Bastille, the Cachite stones that I dug up in the Bastille, which makes France a sovereign nation. So the Rothschilds have no right to own that land. So, I met a woman named Laurel Aston on my Facebook page. She was a targeted individual, a woman that they just would not leave alone. She's ex-CIA, was taken as a child from her home where she still has no idea where that was, and trained as a child assassin and became the property of the U.S. military. Lived in Hollywood, worked with all the big artists. They have duplicates and doubles of her that would stand in her place when she would go off on assignments, when she would be secretly fighting the mind control and fighting the CIA. And they would punish this woman by drugging her and putting her with pedophile rapists. And they would try to breed her and get rape babies. This happened to Laurel Aston countless amount of times. Because in their heads, they were like, okay, if we can't control you, we're going to rape you and get another one of you. They're fucking psychotic. So imagine me being who I am and being what I went through, and a woman coming to me with a story like this, and us making interviews over the phone because I rigged up some crazy shit in my home with a speakerphone, with a mixer, and a microphone, and 2 phones in my house to record the interviews, the first interviews with that woman. You can go listen to our first interviews. That's why the sound is like that. And let me remind you, she was in a horrible situation, which I went to New York and got her out of. I went to New York and sat in her house and blew the cover off all the fucking assassins around her. I went to New York and told all those dirty fucking cops that she at the time was so convinced they're here to help you or they're helping me. They weren't doing shit for her, but blowing smoke up her ass. But she was too under their control and under mind control to see it, because this woman has been robbed so many times. She's been stolen from so many times. I mean, she had cops break in her house, smash her computers, steal her money, steal her jewelry, to where she carried a bag around with all her jewelry, all her money, anything worth value. She would carry that around to work every fucking day. So I want you to understand that right now we're running out of money. And it's because this Mexican motherfucker named Cesar Augusta, working for the Gulf Cartel and the CIA, obviously, threatened Laurel Aston's freedom, threatened my freedom, and basically pretty much forced me to give him $70,000 in jewels that he promised that he would exchange and bring us back the money. But he went to New York, same place where Laurel Aston lived. And this motherfucker comes back and says, oh, they were fake. Yeah. So I've reported Cesar Augusta to Interpol. He tried to have the police, well, he came to my house with 2 hitmen, acting like police. I filmed that. Then he came with real municipal police, paid him off, tried to get fake legal papers stating that they're going to come in this house forcefully. I sent those papers to Interpol. They're fake. Because Laurel Aston didn't come in the country under the name Laurel Aston. He doesn't know Laurel Aston's real name. On the papers, they have my middle name twice. That makes them completely illegal papers. So now the police and Cesar Augusta and Cancun can internationally be sued for this. Because the paper has the city of Cancun's stamp on it. And Mr. Benito Juarez's name on it. That is the man that the cartel sat at the head of Cancun. He's Cancun's so-called president. So this is what's going on right now. So I want you to understand that I went to New York, took a bus to New York, after doing a few videos over the phone with Laurel. The first video that I recorded with her, I want you to know 10 minutes before we started recording that video, after I ran a check on all this stuff to see if it worked, Because basically, let me explain. I'm explaining to you how I rigged up everything. Because I want people to get a good, clear picture of what I had to do with no money and being broke and wanting to help this person and having the HPD, which my stepbrother Cliff Jackson is a hitman, and he's the guy that was trained to control me. So he sent 4 cops to my house and a police helicopter to circle my house. 10 minutes before me and Laurel Aston did our first video. Not kidding. So I was also talking to Laurel on the phone when I go outside, and she's like, "What's that noise?" And I said, "Oh, that's a helicopter flying circles around my house." So this is what I did, people. I've never explained this. I want you to know what I did because, I want this to be documented. I took a speakerphone or a normal phone that has a landline connection and put it in one bedroom. And then I ran a microphone, which they stole the microphone from me, to go back and try to put curses on those videos. This is what the witches do. So they stole that microphone from me when me and Laurel Aston were in Cancun when someone broke into our hotel room. So anyway, that microphone, where we recorded those first videos, I took that microphone and taped it up to the speaker of the speakerphone. So then I ran the other end. I closed the door from that room so that sound is isolated. When I turned on the speakerphone, it's just, you could just hear her talking from the speakerphone. So then I ran that to the mic in my mixer, and then turned the mic in the mixer up, and then ran the mixer through an amp, and then ran the amp through a speaker. Do you get what I'm saying? And then the computer that I'm recording on right now, because now I'm using a mic, but if you go back and listen to my other recordings, it's an open air recording because the computer that I'm recording on right now has a microphone where you just talk. So I had the speaker aimed at the computer, and then I use the recorder that I'm recording with right now to just record everything. And then I took a cordless phone after hitting record and walking out of my room where the speaker and the mixer was, and talked to her on the cell phone in the living room and recorded everything this way and did the best of my ability to make the recording legible. So I can promise you they weren't expecting me to rig up something like this to do a recording with her like this. Because she didn't have Skype. All she had was a cell phone, people. She didn't have a computer. They made sure if she got a computer, they'd crush it. All she had was a cell phone. All I had was what I had. And I built this just to do this. So those were the first videos that we did. Then I went to New York. She was staying under some Asian people that were working for the government, that were into child trafficking, and they were occultists. The whole neighborhood was filled with occult. She's gone on record talking about that many times. So I went there and sat in her house whenever she was away to make sure that these motherfuckers wouldn't break in. I mean, I even caught the old lady from downstairs. She walked into her house and into the room where I was sitting, not saying anything, being silent, so she would think I was gone. And I'm talking, this little old lady was like a ninja, because you didn't hear her come up the stairs to unlock the door to the apartment, because it was a duplex, upstairs and downstairs. She lived downstairs. So you could just go up the stairs to the top part without anybody seeing you. Laurel Aston was pushed in that house, just like we were pushed in this house. See, you need to understand that we're up against witches with trillion-dollar computers like Tempest and Harp and Echelon to do calculations for these witches. Don't think that they're smart, people. They steal technology and then program this technology into their computers. They steal our thoughts and then build algorithms with these computers to shut us down mentally. They have algorithms by these trillion-dollar computers to estimate the way we're going to think, or if we're going to go left, how to make us go right. And then even if we go left, how to continue to make us go right back into their position of where they want us. These are assassin computers, people, designed by witches that are killers to control their assassins, because they consider us their property. They don't want to let us go. They don't want you hearing this. They don't want anybody knowing about this shit. None of it. So I want you to understand that me and Laurel Aston stayed in New York for like 3 to 4 months, and I sat there every day when she went to work. I would go on walks, when she'd get home, but basically it was just one room with me and 4 animals. I pretty much went out of my mind, but that's how it was. So then we saved money and planned, and guess what? The day I go to rent the car, that I had, asked for hold for like a month, they wouldn't give it to me. So guess what I did? I mean, they were getting desperate. They were acting really crazy at that house because they knew we were about to make moves and they couldn't figure out what to do. So I did the only thing I could do. I did the same thing I did when these occultists came at me in San Francisco, and I had to get the fuck out of that house with that bisexual ex-government faggot with faggots living above me, because if you hit a faggot in San Francisco, you get beat up by faggot cops. So I rented a in-town U-Haul for 7 days in New York, and I drove that U-Haul to Texas. Then we drove to, I think it was Laredo, and basically tried to cross over the border there. Well, we were stopped at a border check twice. The border patrol stopped us and they told us to go to the side because we were in a U-Haul that was packed full of clothes and 4 animals. So they wanted to know if we were smuggling drugs because this doesn't look normal. So I told the border cops who I was, what I did. I told them about dismantle the intelligence agency. One of the other cops was just like, oh, wow. And they just walked away because he's like, oh, you guys should talk. Because this other cop was, or Border Patrol was, they called him the conspiracy theorist. So we started talking. He was pretty shocked about what I told him. I gave him dismantle the Central Intelligence Agency's website. So the cops took Laurel in, ran her prints, saw her mutilated body, saw the mark on her head that she has actually been shot in the head. And the female officer was in tears. NYPD let them know the real deal about her and they let us go. So then this same scenario happened again, because if you know about the Laredo Border Patrol, it's like you can't, there's border like checks all over. So we went through this twice. But the second time the Border Patrol said, do not drive through Mexico. It's not safe. So, mind you, I had been driving because Laurel didn't drive. She didn't have her license. I had been driving from New York to Texas pretty much nonstop. I think maybe I had about 8-9 hours sleep altogether on and off. And basically, I thought, okay, let's just go to South Padre Island because we wanted to come to Cancun just to try to relax and just regroup. We wanted to get on the beach, see some water, just relax. We both been through hell. So I hadn't been to South Padre since I was a kid. I had family in Harlingen. I used to live in Harlingen. Lo and behold, everything changed. The occult took over South Padre Island, and I didn't know that. We found out the hard way. We ended up renting an apartment. Song ended up working for a CIA handler, the only woman that would hire her. Gee, I wonder why. Dr. Susan DeVay, which owes her about $30,000. Over $30,000 still for her work. You hear me, assassins? Dr. Susan DeVay owes Laurel Aston over $30,000 for her work. So, Dr. Susan DeVay, if your bitch ass is still alive and if you're out there, I just put a bunch of assassins on your ass. I want my fucking money. So anyway, welcome to Assassin Radio. Dr. Susan DeVay was administering mind control to Laurel Aston. Laurel Aston was subjected to CIA occult members that are mainly from Corpus Christi, the CIA military base where they take Mexican children, which Laurel Aston was one of those Mexican children as a child. That's where they take them to train them, to rape them, to instate mind control. Corpus Christi is the worst. And also, if you know about South Padre, it's connected to Padre Island in Corpus Christi. It's just a nice little drive. So that's the occult. So Laurel Aston was going through mind control, and guess what they did to me? They used the dirty narco cops of South Padre to lock me up. They locked me up for 17 days without charges. They tried to get a doctor named Dr. Zadie, who ended up stealing my credit card number and charging up my credit card in New Mexico. Because, doctors can look at everything you have when they put you in a hospital. Yeah, the cops locked me up, and then they said, oh, he's crazy. So they sent me to a hospital where Dr. Zadie held me for 17 days on my birthday, Christmas, New Year's. I was locked up. And he was trying to have me physically committed by the state. So it took 17 days to get me to court. The court said they could hold me for 15 days. They held me for 17 days. So finally on the 17th day, I go in front of the judge, tell him I'm an activist, tell him I'm an environmentalist, tell him I fight for the rights of human trafficking victims, and tell him Dr. Zadie is basically out of his motherfucking mind. Because Dr. Zadie says you need to forcefully be medicated and put under my care for 90 days. The judge threw it out. I got out of basically jail and a hospital that day. I still have a legal case that we came to Cancun thinking that we could find a lawyer to help us pursue this to get some money from this. But no. So then a month after that, we moved from South Padre into the little town right across the bridge from South Padre, where Dr. Susan DeVay's office is located. And the apartment that they moved us into was basically an apartment that was so fucking cursed, it was not even funny. I mean, I've never lived in such a cursed place in my whole entire life. That apartment. And I want you to know that when I'd go look for an apartment, all the apartment signs, before we were looking for an apartment, they were up everywhere. And then when we were looking for an apartment, you couldn't find them. And then Laurel found the apartment through a friend from the occultist office that she was working at. And lo and behold, the apartment was owned by an occultist that was a friend of Dr. DeVay's, who's a CIA handler. So, basically, to make a long story short, we got all our things together. We took a cab across the border to a hotel and then got bus tickets to Cancun. And now here we are. Cesar Augusta stole $70,000 from Laurel Aston in diamonds. Cesar Augusta tried to enter this house with 2 hitmen. Cesar Augusta has his office set up right across the street from me. We have two CIA agents that moved in across the street from me. We have a Mexican cartel warlord or warlock, key maker. And I mean a key maker because he holds the codes to the new algorithms and the old algorithms that the CIA, hoard over with their witches for me and Laurel Aston. He was doing this before the other two CIA agents moved in next door to him. So when we moved in, we had a warlock living next to us named Alberto. Alberto had a wife who was a handler who met Laurel Aston at the gate one day. And basically she was using handler hand signals to try to trigger her. We were living next door to these people that had an EEG machine, brain mapping machine. And I took pictures of Alberto's cars, started to expose him. He lost his job and he moved. Now we have a Mexican cartel witch that has moved in with her child assassins. Because let me remind you, Laurel Aston used to be one. These are the new ones with the cybernetic enhancement and direct links to Echelon and Tempest and their EEG machines and brain mapping. The psychotic little child assassin's son spent all last night kicking the walls to show me, I guess, how hard he can kick. Walls don't hit back, dumbass. So, these are the new people that have moved in next door to me. Last night and the night before, again, the EEG machine and all of the gang stalking and all of the microwave weaponry, they hit us hard again with these people living next to me. I don't give a fuck about your kids. I don't give a fuck if they're child assassins. If they're child assassins, makes it even more of a reason to fucking kill them. Let's be honest, this is Assassin Radio. We don't bullshit. So anyway, yeah, I said it. So anyway, this is what we're into. See, these people, they bring their kids and they want you to think they're all nice and families and stuff. Man, do you know how many other kids that their kids have probably raped and killed? Do you know how many adults that their kids have killed? I mean, do you think child assassins kill children? No, they don't. They look at you like they're all innocent and sweet, and they're like, oh, I'm lost, can you help me? And then you lower your defenses, and you're like, oh, sure, little kid, what do you need help with? And then they slit your throat. Child assassins are the worst. The worst. But people just don't get that shit. Why do you think the CIA does it? Because no one would suspect a kid. No one. The CIA agents living across the street, they got kids. When you come into a situation, that's what I'm going to call it, you want to look like, hi, I'm Mr. Tom. I got my wife and 2 kids, and I'm an outstanding upstanding member of society. But really, you're a low-life fucking wretch pedophile that's with another assassin that can barely stand your ass with two other child assassins, and none of you are fucking related. It's an op. That's all. None of them are related. And if they are, if you think they're related because, oh, you've known them for like 4, 5, 6 years, how do you think they grow up child assassins? They give them a handler, and those handlers are their fake parents. They come from an underground base where they're heavily trained and cybernetic enhancements. So, now you get a clear picture of what is going on and what I'm into. Interpol, I'd like to cordially welcome you to the party, because they're the only people that can legally shoot your asses. And I welcome that. Interpol, you hear me? So, hey, what? This is Assassin Radio. So, for all you other assassins, have fun. Be ruthless. And please help me get my fucking money back. I mean, I asked a few people close to me for some money. I don't know if they're going to even give me money or whatever. I sent them my bank account, whatever. I'm still waiting for Dr. DeVay to put like 40 grand into my account for Laurel Aston. So if anybody wants to, lean on her ass about that, that would be much appreciated. Maybe I'll unblock her ass on Facebook and post this on her wall. So, yeah, I blocked her ass. So I could unblock her ass anytime I want, stalk her. Evil fucking CIA bitch. Dr. DeVay, don't think we've forgotten about you. So, welcome to the party. How can I say this is the realest shit on YouTube, on the radio? I mean, all you people that are out there supporting this and interpreting this and letting your friends know what's going on, thank you, bless you. I try to just keep this as real as possible because you can't make this shit up. Writers can't make this shit up. Because this is real life. Talking about real life, not some CIA Nazi asshole stealing somebody's life and trying to put a twist on it and make a fucking movie about it. Like they've done to Laurel Aston. And before I go, all you listeners out there, I humbly ask you to go view these movies. If you want to understand the Laurel Aston story. And view them in this order, please. First view The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Because that took place when she was younger and she got out from under them. And that movie talks about the Nazis and the real shit of how they are. And they talk about a girl that they've tormented and that's highly skilled with computers, that they block that part of her memory from her. That's why these assholes have this EEG machine on her in the room next to her. Yeah, fuckers, you're dead. You hear me? Everybody knows what you're doing. Girl with the dragon tattoo. That's about Miss Aston. Next movie. A Long Kiss Goodnight. That movie's about her. Next movie, Kill Bill. All two of them. That movie's about her. But, I'd like to apologize. When that movie took place, Laurel Aston was 14 to 15 years old. On growth hormones, granted. So she looked about 20. But when Kill Bill took place, she was 14, 15 years old. As a child assassin, she did that. And as for the babies and the wedding and all that shit, that's Quentin Tarantino's, glorification of adding on to his CIA secret files. We're coming for your ass, Quentin. You better write her a check. You hear me? Or that's your head. Creepy Quentin. It's the chaos. Remember me? From Spring Branch, motherfucker. You better write her a check. Number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so next 2 movies. Tomb Raider. Hey, Canadian CIA motherfuckers. You better write her a check. Or you're dead. That's all. I'm sick of these fuckers getting away with this shit. While a woman that they've raped and tormented, brainwashed, and forced to have a baby when she was a baby, and having that baby rip her insides open and then having these Nazi doctors sew her back up. And these motherfuckers walking around in Hollywood acting like they're gods. Time to get chopped up. Write her a check. You know where I am. All of you. Put it in my name. Mr. D. Ewing. Leave it open, motherfuckers. Don't even put a name. Just deliver it. Not kidding. Do you think this is a game? Do you think it's a game of what they did to this woman? Do you think I stayed in Texas and came to Mexico to play games with you, cartel? She's Mexican. And she's just one woman that you did this to. And I will fucking watch all of you die real fucking slowly if you keep fucking with her and me. So again, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Long Kiss Goodnight, Kill Bill, Tomb Raider, and I saved the best for last because the so-called shadow writer for this, I suspect to be Abba. the guy that started the Shrine of the Black Madonna, that lives in Mendocino, the man that killed my real father, the man that was the shadow writer for Silence of the Lambs, the man that's the shadow writer for Star Wars. I suspect him to be the shadow writer for the Bourne Conspiracy. That's also about Laurel Aston. When the CIA lost control of her, when she broke down and wouldn't kill an innocent man in front of his children. Now, honestly, people, hey, assassins. Now, is that some shit male assassins do? Come on, let's be honest. No. That's something a woman does. But see, in Hollywood, they'll take Laurel Aston's life again because they've been doing it to this woman, and just put a male in the role because it is just too badass to make a woman look that good, you know? They ain't gonna do it. So, can anybody calculate the all-time grosses of those movies and how much the CIA owes Laurel Aston? Hey, CIA, NSA, I'm putting the kiss of death on you. You already put it on me. I mean, you put that shit on me like long time ago. And then you like, hey, Caesar, pay some Mexican bitches to blow some kisses at him in the mall, and you know, put the kiss of death on him, but we're not going to tell you, just put the kiss of death on him again. Okay, so since when has the CIA not been trying to kill me? And for all you stupid motherfuckers out there that keep commenting on my Facebook, oh, if the CIA wanted you dead, you'd be dead. Oh, if the CIA this and this and you'd be dead. Bullshit. You have no idea what I'm capable of. You have no fucking idea what I'm capable of. So I suggest you shills, you post on my page, there will be someone coming for you. I'm sick of you. I mean, all those guys that say that shit like that, oh, if the CIA wanted you dead, you'd be dead. Bullshit. If the CIA wanted me dead, they wouldn't continuously be paying people to try to make it look like I'm dying of a natural death, or I get broke and have no money and I can't report shit. They already tried to kill me. I was supposed to die in Romania in the snow of natural death. See, what you stupid motherfuckers can't figure out is if they put a bullet through my head right now, do you know how bad this shit would blow up? Michael Jackson's cousin assassinated after they killed my girlfriend, after they killed Michael Jackson's cousin, and then they will go to my family and blood test them and shit and find out that they've been dead. Because that would guarantee blood test to find out if these motherfuckers are really my family. So they can't have that. They can't kill me like that, you stupid fucking CIA shills posting on my pages about your stupid bullshit, because you're so goddamn ignorant. So anyway, welcome to Assassin Radio number 1. I hope this brings the fire. CIA, you want me dead? Huh? NSA, you want me dead? DARPA, you want me dead? Rothschilds, Windsors, my own fucking bastardized Nazi cousins that raped into my bloodline. You want me dead? Here I am. But hey, I got a proposal to William. I got a proposal to the sons of the Rothschilds. I got a proposal to all the Windsors. Me and you go toe to toe with swords. And let's see who ends up standing. Every single one of you. You want me dead? Quit paying bitches to do your dirty work, motherfuckers. Get your hands dirty for once. You hear me? Come down off your stolen gold and all your fucking blood money and be a man, you stupid witch bitches. Can guarantee you they ain't gonna do shit. But I'm gonna say it. And I want everybody to know it. You work for them, you're dead. I'm sick of them. What else would you say if you were in my position? What else would you say after they have killed your girlfriend? It was pregnant with your child that you were going to marry. Your fiancé. The same day as your cousin, the most talented person in the world. And then they keep coming after Laurel Aston because she worked with the Jacksons also. They've used her CIA stories and flaunted them in front of all your faces and made millions. And they pay some piece of shit motherfucking Mexican by the name of Cesar Augusta to steal from me and her and want to see me on the streets after this motherfucker tries to bring hitmen into my home after paying the narco police to harass me after all of this. What would you do? How would you feel? What would you say other than what I've said? They trained me as a child assassin. And they know what I'm capable of. And trust me, if they don't give me my money, Dr. Susan DeVay and every single motherfucker that had anything to do with taking money for these films, there's nothing anyone can do to protect you from what's coming for you. I promise you that. And what's coming for you is not of this world. So don't think it's some fucking assassin that you can, pay a bunch of men to protect you. You're not even going to see it coming. And when it comes for you, that's it. I will have everything that I'm supposed to have to do what I was put on earth to do. And that is one thing. Help my brothers and sisters get out of the clutches of these fucking demons. And that's it. That's all I give a shit about. And for all of these fucking demons, understand you're all fucking dead. You, your kids, your family members, your whole fucking bloodline. The lines have been drawn. You can't jump sides. That's what the Nazis do. Oh, we want out. Yeah, you want out because it's a sinking fucking ship. But sorry, wicked bitches. You should have got out before you see who I am and what's coming. Because the lines are drawn. There's no switching sides. Welcome to Assassin Radio. Tell a friend. Or don't. Because it's out there. I'm just letting them know. Peace.
Them shoes, fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass fairy faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. But my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass fairy faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. But my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass fairy faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. But my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
Get down.
For prostitution, child sex, pedophilia, and most of all, horrifically, witchcraft. And most of them end up getting sacrificed and chopped up for their organs and resold on the black market. That's what this is about. So never forget how this all started. It started about this. And it started because I fell in love with a Romanian woman. And me being a child assassin, they waited, they watched, they hunted, and they waited for the right time for me to fall in love. Have sex for the first time in almost 5-6 years, and then kill my cousin Michael Jackson and then kill this woman the same day. So I lost my mind. 2 weeks after I found out what happened to her from my Russian friend who shall be called R, his father was, and still is pretty much, the head of Russian, equivalent to Russian Secret Service. Has many names. But he's also an assassin. I'll never forget the day I shook his hand and the way he looked at me. So, I want you to understand, his son was the one that basically told me what happened to my girlfriend because her body was dumped in Russia. This was the same woman that I spent New Year's with in Snagov in a private, closed-off Russian community. So I want you to understand exactly what happened and how this all started, because I want this to be more of a storytelling based kind of radio show, so people can really start to understand and learn what we go through as assassins and as child assassins and targeted individuals, and exactly what they do to us. And how everything, and you know, assassins, everything's about timing. Everything is about precise and specific timing down to the second. To her, my sister died. I tried to kill myself. That's what they wanted. I found out that a nurse, or more than likely an assassin, tripled her medication and she just bloated up and died. That came precisely 2 weeks after my Russian friend R told me what happened to Mihaela. So I tried to kill myself with sleeping pills, and I took so many, but fortunately it didn't happen because I guess I have people around me that care. So I can say when I did that, I lost all my fear. And what do I mean by losing all my fear? Finally, in this conscious state of Mr. Zacchaeus, I can finally say I really, really was not, or nor will I ever be afraid of death. That is nothing I fear. I don't fear it. So once you get to that place in your life where you don't fear death, you start looking at life very, very, very differently. And for you people that know exactly what I'm talking about, that have no fear of death, you know what I'm talking about. And for you people that have fear of death and that think, oh, I'm not afraid of death, but really you are. You have no idea what I'm talking about. So after this, I spent a few months trying to get myself together. It didn't work. Couldn't find a job. I lost my apartment, ended up staying a few months in the snow. No one would help me. Not even R. R was under specific orders not to help me. I couldn't understand why. I got really pissed off at him. But now I thank him, because Russia and the Legionnaires really wanted to see if I had what it takes. if I could live in the snow, if I could survive in a Romanian winter without dying, if I could survive, if I knew how to survive, if I was that same person that survived all those hits in America, in Mendocino, when they tried to kill me, raid women and take women wherever they wanted to and take kids wherever they wanted to. That's what that building was used for. And then they passed it on to Nikageru to basically turn it into a club and deal drugs out of it and continue to trade women and children and do whatever he wanted. That's club space. That was the first club space. Then Nikageru moved club space into Ibiza, which is space music today, which is one of the biggest human trafficking, money laundering organizations still today. Even with Nikageru dead and his CIA replacement walking free as him, how they want it, I want you to know that I was making videos about all of his clubs in Romania, in front of all his clubs in Romania. Also exposing Liviu Moranu, his second in command. Also exposing the big so-called techno rave event coordinator and organizer called The Mission, which is also Nikageru's. They had Carl Cox under a 5-year contract. These are the biggest of biggest people in the entertainment industry in Eastern Europe, and I took them on with the camera. So after, the Rothschilds came down and sprinkled some money at my job at the Radisson Blu, which is the nicest hotel in Bucharest, where I got fired from by my Freemasonic boss for no reason at all. I mean, I was ripping shit up with the jazz. They never heard jazz like the way I play it. They never heard chill out music the way I play it. I'm the dopest DJ, I must say. So after getting fired from that job, after having the Rothschilds come down and give my Freemason boss the Freemason handshake in front of the DJ booth, and then my boss completely making an ass of himself and making it look like I did something, which I didn't, and everybody looking at him like, are you on crack? But still, again, I got fired. And I would like to humbly thank R and his family for helping me get that job. And they know what happened. So anyway, moving on to the story. So after that, I spent basically losing my mind after I found out what happened to my girlfriend. 2 weeks after I found out what happened,
Fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on, fuck them shoes, fuck those socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay ass very faggot accent, fuck them cheap ass cigars, fuck your yuck mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece, fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie, fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America, so my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room, and if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on, fuck them shoes, fuck those socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay ass very faggot accent, fuck them them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. So my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
So what's up, beautiful people? I would like to welcome you officially to the first recording of Assassin Radio. And technically, we really are broadcasting. Because I have something that is broadcasting. I'm not going to really say what, but it is actually broadcasting a signal. So anyway, welcome to Assassin Radio. So I wanted to specifically create something different, talking about assassins, talking about targeted individuals, and what we go through. Basically what I've been doing, but giving it more of a format. So the format today is going to be about Laurel Aston and what I went through to get this woman out of America, and basically what we went through to get here to Mexico. So I'm going to start out by, first of all, explaining to you that this whole thing came about because of the U.S. government and the cartel. And what I mean by the cartel is, I mean the female cartel that gets paid by the U.S. government to steal women and children and to smuggle women and children internationally to be taken into their underground bases. So the people that did this to Michael Jackson and my girlfriend, they coordinated their murders precisely down to the second. When Michael was being held down and injected with the poison, you had Tom Boxer in Russia hacking up my girlfriend for the Freemasons, which was the Paracelsus group, which took him in after his blood sacrifice. He became a Freemason. Tom Boxer, after stealing the track Beautiful Day from me and another producer, Vanotech, and registering that song as his own, which it never was. And then he gets a brand new VW 3 weeks later. So I want you to understand exactly how this started, because it started like this. And I lost the woman that I've been waiting my whole entire life for. The woman that I wanted to have children with. The woman that even when I see kids, I think about her. They took that away from me. So as God is my witness, I'm going to take every fucking thing, even the last breath of air they ever had, or die trying. So after I spent all the money that I had trying to find out what happened to her, trying to find out, who did what, who was involved with who, and got an international investigation started by DIICOT, spelled DIICOT, which DIICOT brought down members of Fashion TV and TVR1 due to human trafficking, but that still didn't get Nikagaru. So I started making videos in front of Nikagaru's clubs, in front of Fashion TV Romania, which is right across the street from the Romanian police. I think it's police council building, which also has Freemasonry in front of it. So I want you to understand Nikageru also, where his club was, Club Space, that building that's across from the Romanian police building, the building where Club Space is located, used to be a place where government officials internationally would meet and